We did that correctly. That was unbelievable. What's up, T?
Not much.
How are you doing? How was work?
Boring. I had a lot of cancellations.
Well,
Which
that's
is not
sometimes
not the
nice,
best
sometimes
time,
not.
but it's fine. How was your work?
It's good. It's good. Just a lot of writing.
So boring.
Simple stuff. It's boring, yeah. Boring stuff. Or interesting, I guess. Depends
For
on
you.
for certain, yeah. Depends on I guess your interests. We're excited today. Do you want to go ahead and do the intro so we can kind of get started?
Our intro?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So, guys, welcome to the Sooner Smiths live show. If you are new here, welcome. I am Tierney Smith.
And I'm Chad Smith.
And we are married, if you didn't know that. And we are here every Monday at 7 p.m. Central Time. We are part of the Voice of College Football Oklahoma channel. We are the show on Monday night, and we did do post games in football season, but sadly now that is over. But, there's lots of other things to support. Josh is still doing his shows on Tuesday, I believe, but I don't know what other content. He'll definitely be getting out some portal content, and it was a hot day today. So we'll also talk about that as well. If you have not already, subscribe to our channel as well as become a member for as low as $2.99 a month. All of the proceeds go to giving Zeno a lot of really good treats so he can keep up Zeno Zone. He's got a high treat budget there. So figured I'd
there you go.
Guilt you with the dog. But today we have not a football player on today. Oh, you're...
Sorry. Yeah, I got to do, sometimes I got to do production stuff. No, we don't. We don't. Someone who, though, is on a defense like our football team was on, one of the best in the country. I saw almost a criminal win against Mississippi State. It was one of those where, like, you see, like, AI is so prevalent right now. I was like, well, this isn't real. There's no way. And then I'm like, well, all right, Mississippi State must not have a good offense then. No offense, but they had a top 25 scoring defense. Yep. And they got beat by 40 or something close to that. It was insane. Yeah, really excited to have people on that are just not only just really, really good athletes, but just good people, it seems, as well.
Right. And without further ado, she is an all SEC and all Big 12 team member. She is a Region 3 All-America player. And if you watch women's basketball, which you should, you will know her name very well because she had a few hot games for us last year. And she's still going on strong this year. Without further ado, we have Payton Verhulst.
Payton, thanks for joining.
She's muted.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
We got to unmute you.
You're unmuted. Or you are muted.
Is that good now?
There we go.
Okay.
Thank you so much for joining.
Thanks for having me. Now I got to live up to this hype. You guys just hype me up a lot. So.
Awesome.
Hey, we didn't hype you up. We just read your bio. So that's the truth.
How you been?
I've been good. Yeah, living the life now that we're in SEC play. Just now we got 2 games a week, a lot less practices. So you know how much better that is than during the season.
Yeah, a little more, I don't want to say rest time. You're never truly resting, but it's not as intense.
Awesome.
Exactly.
Just a production point. We might, you might see me looking to my right. It's not that I'm not paying attention. I'm pulling up things and looking at stuff.
I'm used to it. It's okay.
There you go. Awesome. Well, hey, congrats on a really good season so far. Y'all started off really well, obviously. Tierney, I'm going to let you kind of just ask the kind of run, I guess. You listen, Tierney was a basketball player in this marriage. There's no doubt about it. I beat her one-on-one all the time. She gets mad about it, but it's just facts. It is what it is. Not a lot of shooting. Now, she did do a game where we had to shoot, jumpers, and she might have got me there. But
there we go. That's true basketball right there.
For us.
He forgets to add that he's 6'4" and I'm 5'3".
Well,
yeah. So kind of slight comment that should be said.
Well, some people say.
But anyways, so we don't really know a lot of necessarily like your history, like how you grew up playing basketball, middle school, high school, all that kind of good stuff. Your roots, like there's a reason that you became the player you are today. So tell us a little bit about your background.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm one of 6 kids, and both my parents played basketball at the college level. And being the 4th of the 6, obviously I got dragged to and from practices and games and everything. You just kind of grew up in the gym, and from there it just kind of came natural. Basketball was definitely the sport that I liked and was the best at growing up. So naturally it just continued playing through the rest of my career into middle school and high school, and just have been blessed enough that my parents have put me in a position where I was able to travel around the country and visit colleges. And I actually committed to Louisville for my first year and a half in Kentucky, and then transferred to Oklahoma and to Jenny. And since then it's just been a whirlwind, but I've loved it, and I'm so happy for the choices that I've made along the way. But again, just so thankful to be now in Norman, Oklahoma, and a little bit closer to home. So it's kind of just been a dream come true.
And I guess for those that don't know, I mean, we read your bio earlier too, and they announced it was starting lineups. But where are you from? Because you say you're closer to home.
I'm from DeSoto, Kansas, so I'm like right outside Lawrence. So it's about 5 hours, a little less than 5 hours. So closer, but drivable.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, what about Jenny brought you to Oklahoma? Because obviously transferring, it's never an easy transition. You got new schools, new teams, new practices, new everything. And so, what about it? What about Oklahoma and Jenny drew you?
Yeah, she was at Drake whenever I was first going through the recruiting process. And I was really just, I mean, as a player, attracted to the style of basketball that they played at Drake. And then obviously, she took the job at Oklahoma, and that was always something I kept in the back of my mind. And then whenever I decided to transfer and I entered the portal, I just knew for sure I wanted to go play for her and play for her system. Um, and again, I mean, as a basketball player, I just think it's like one of the most fun styles of basketball that you can play, where I mean, you guys watched us, we scored 90 plus points in some games. So I think it's just the truest form of basketball. You get to play everything. You get to play defense, you get to pass the ball, you get to rebound, you get to score. So it's just really fun.
Awesome. I know that you had what, like 83 threes last year or something like that.
Oh God, I don't know, but yeah, I shoot a lot of threes.
Yeah, second in the SEC. That's a legit stat. There we go. I
was about to say, if she was anything like me, she's gonna be like, I have no idea, but I definitely shoot.
Yeah, T was a big 3-point shooter back in her day. So there we go.
Yeah, so then you understand it's like once you see it, it's the green light. So
Oh,
I
yeah.
shot a lot. I know that's for sure.
Exactly. It's like definitely many times you're like, oh, did you know you had this many or that many? I'm like, no.
I don't know if I had
shooting.
I don't know if I had 83 attempts in my career.
Well, yeah, again.
I was a big free throw guy. Like me and SGA kind of went that route. I'm curious, kind of. I guess jumping to, you get obviously a big recruit like Elena Chavez. Elena, correct?
Sorry.
How do you pronounce
Aaliyah
Chavez?
Yes. I was like, no, I keep mispronouncing the name. My pregnancy brain is like going.
I go back and forth all the time. Aaliyah, I'm wondering, someone like you who's obviously been in the college game for a while, you kind of have, it seems like, an ability to really play anywhere you'd want. I don't know about the 5, but all the other 4 positions for sure. And it seems like you're someone who can fit in and kind of get yours, if you will, no matter where they put you. Last year, obviously, you had a lot of games where you kind of had a lot of points and whatnot. And for someone that maybe not as knowledgeable for basketball like myself, to me, that's like what you kind of go for, right? A lot of points and whatnot.
Yeah, of course.
But obviously, it seems like you have an ability to, no matter what the system is or where you fit in right now, be a leader on the team and also to be productive. How do you kind of process that, and also the different responsibilities as being an older leader on the team and different positions you might be in?
Yeah, absolutely. I think honestly, the further you get into college basketball, and when you're grateful enough and blessed enough that you get a 5th year in college basketball, you just honestly, having been now played in the SEC a year, played in the Big 12, played in the ACC, I feel like I've been all over. um, I think that honestly all the experience has really helped to mold the player that I can be, and kind of like the leader that I can be on and off the floor. And I think that's just a role that I really had been working on and wanted to step into this year. Obviously, we had a lot of great freshmen coming in, Aaliyah, one of them. And I think the biggest thing was just helping it mesh. And so I think that was a big role that I wanted to take on for our team. And like you said, on the floor, if it's I need to score, or I need to get rebounds, or I need to get stops, I think just being willing to do whatever it takes for our team to win. Because at the end of the day, that's all that matters, is the wins and losses. So I think that was a big step for me to take as a player this year.
I got to say, the step back is nasty. That was like my favorite move last year. Like, you always do that spin step back, and I was like, God, that's so sick.
No, definitely. And I feel like this year too, and again, we're still relatively early in the season, but a lot of times when I would look back last year, I'm like, all right, well, if Payton doesn't take over, like, we could be like in hot water. Or I was just like waiting for you to like have to take over. And I feel like this year now, like for you, you don't have to have that much pressure on you. Like I feel like the bench has stepped up. Of course, Aaliyah has come in. Of course, Reagan, I feel like, has been healthy, so I'm not going to jinx it. But
She had a scare earlier in the year. She had a
Yes.
scare.
And so I feel like overall, like, how does that? I mean, maybe I'm just reading too much into that because I have been a part of teams both ways, where you feel like you don't have to have as much pressure, or heaven forbid I miss a shot. Like it's it all falls on me. But how has that been? Because there definitely has been a lot more like disparity. It feels like with the team this year, as far as scoring goes specifically.
Absolutely. I mean, especially when you play, you understand it's a lot easier to play against teams where there's one or two people scoring, and like your scout is a lot easier. You can try and defend them this certain way, or again, that's the unique thing about Oklahoma offense, is that it's really even. And I feel like this year has really shown that from starters to bench. Everyone that touches the floor is a true scorer and a true basketball player. So I think that's what has just made this year so special. And like you said, a lot more even. Like I think you look at our starting five and we're all averaging double digits almost, or somewhere around there. And even you look at our bench and there's not a big drop off. So I think that's again something that's unique and special about Jenny's offense, where you're not just relying on one or two players to kind of be your all. And I think again that's what makes it so hard to scout against, and fun to watch, because you're never going to have someone out there that's just like playing a certain role. I think everyone knows that they're going out there to be a scoring threat and to really just be an all-around basketball player.
Right. That's exactly it. And also, like, you don't, it's kind of like when you're a defensive end, it really is like a pick your poison type thing. It's like, okay, you want to face guard Payton, great, you got to lay it. Now, oh, you're going to try to double down on Beers every time, great, they can knock it down from the outside. So it does make it a lot harder to guard that specifically. I'm sorry I cut you off.
No, you're totally fine. I was going to say, I will say,
it's normally the other way around.
Well, it definitely is. So I'm all good with that. I want to go back to last year a little bit, because obviously y'all were really good. You make the Sweet 16. I felt like y'all had so much latent potential on top of how good you already were. Because I remember games where y'all would score like 90, but have 20 turnovers. Yeah. And I'm sitting there going like, man, where does I mean, obviously, that is an improvement you're making, and you better this year at it. But where do you think like that kind of comes from, and how do you fix those kind of I don't know if you'd call them really errors, I guess just mistakes here and there. Is it just getting to know each other better, another year with playing with the same team? Or is it just, I don't know, because I'm wanting, like, if you get back to the Sweet 16 and that level, to go all the way, is it not something that, you're going to have to really make sure is an improvement over last year in some games?
Oh, yeah. I mean, obviously, turnovers was something that we were very aware of last year, something that we wanted to cut down on. And there's a little bit of that where you have that cushion because we play so fast and because we have so many offensive possessions, that the numbers might be just higher, anyways. But this year, definitely, like the chemistry, even just from the first game to now where we are in season, has gotten so much better. And I do think that just comes with kind of maturity and experience and playing, and that chemistry you have with people on the floor. I have been super impressed. I know versus A&M we had more than we had like during non-conference. That's natural when you start playing against harder competition. But I think that was something that I was super proud of with us yesterday versus Mississippi State, was just taking care of the ball. Especially because, I mean, that's something you learn in scout and watching these SEC teams. They convert way too many points off turnovers for us to have 20 a game. And so I think that was something, unfortunately, we learned the hard way last year. And I think that is something that we work on every day in practice. So it's really obviously empowering to see the change and like see that it's happening on the floor. But I mean, with more competition, tougher competition, things like that change. So obviously, we have a lot more tests to be able to show that we're working on it. And I think we're just excited to do that.
Right. And I will say with A&M, like, I know in the first quarter there was quite a few, but it seemed like you did improve throughout the game. And that's one thing that, like, I already felt like was like, oh, that's better. Like, yes, that was a tough first quarter. Like, you got jitters. It's a good team. You're playing fast, because that is what you guys do. You do play fast. And it's like you mentioned, you're going to have more turnovers if you're trying to get everywhere quickly. Yeah. It's just going to happen. But like to have your head on, that you didn't let it impact you, and to continue going. Like that was something that I was like, okay, like I like saw that improvement. We just remember specifically too, like Jenny mentioning it a lot in post games, like we just got to take care of the ball. Oh, yeah. We got to take care of the ball.
Yes. Oh, and that was reiterated every day in practice too. So it wasn't just a first show for the media. It was something that we were working on and have been working on. So we're just happy that it's showing.
Absolutely. And Jenny, I from like outside looking in. Just I love her energy on the sidelines, and I love the way that she like seems to coach you guys. I love when they always do like the huddle cams and you can hear her. Is she always that intense?
Yes.
Like even in practice, like okay.
Yes.
Because she reminds me in a lot of ways of like Brent Venables for football. Like it's just like
Yeah.
they're always just like on and have that intensity, which like
Yeah, it's like, do you ever just relax a little
How
bit?
much coffee do you drink?
Like imagine I'm watching like a TV show and it's just like the burrowed eye and you're like, I mean, just relax a little bit, man.
No, I know. Sometimes I'm like envious because I'm like, I need some of that energy. Like I'm very much like, well, every
Yeah.
once in a while I get up, but I mostly try to like stay pretty the same. But it's definitely, I mean, especially because you played T, it's like when you have a coach that like steps into practice, like puts their hair up, is like getting in the drills, it's like everyone else's competitiveness just raises. So I feel like that's something again that's super unique and like where that chemistry can even come from too.
Absolutely. And when you can really feel the passion from your coach, it does truly make you want to play harder, not only for them, but like with them. Like if you have a coach out there like running drills with you. And I mean, I've had coaches like be like, all right, no, y'all doing it wrong. Let me show you. And like, then you want to show up your coach or, just whatever it is, or they challenge you in some way. And it's just, it really is great. And I don't know how many times I feel like I've tweeted, or maybe I've thought about tweeting, maybe just held myself back so I didn't like a weird stalker. Like I just love Jenny D. Like I love Coach JB. Yeah. Like I'm so glad he's our coach. And there's a guy specifically. I don't know if he's an OU fan, but he's just like a fan of like women's sports. And he was like, I love y'all's coach too. Like I wish we could have her. And I'm like, no, like please, like I hope she stays like forever, honestly, until her daughter is old enough to be in college. Like I hope she stays past then. Like
please.
I just really enjoyed watching her coach. So you have started SEC play 2-0.
Yes.
Is there any specific matchup that you are looking forward to specifically?
Oh gosh. Honestly, I'm just so happy that we finally have like the LSU, the South Carolina, the Tennessees at home. Because like last year we traveled to LSU, we traveled to South Carolina, we went to Tennessee, we went to Ole Miss, and it was like, oh my God, we couldn't catch a break. Like, can we get one at home? So having now all of them at home, I'm just so excited to. Especially I know we play LSU and South Carolina in the same week. I think like that week in general will just be so fun. I know I'm like already excited for it. Obviously one game at a time. We're gonna take care of everybody on the way, but I think it's so fun to like look forward to those games and have them here in Norman. So
absolutely. Those are games I need to mark on our calendar.
Yeah.
We have, so last year you got a service award from John and Sue Gibbs. They presented it to you. So John and Sue actually I grew up with them. I went to the same church as them from the time I was little bitty.
Oh my goodness.
So they used to take planes to my games at like junior college and Division II, and then they would fly to wherever OU was playing. And
different life.
But they're like the nicest, kindest people. And
they
so
are awesome.
If they are watching this, if you have extra tickets to that LSU South Carolina matchup, we will gladly take them. But that's all to say. I mean, they're great. They've invited us to a few games this year. Unfortunately, they've fallen like when our work schedules couldn't make it work, or he had a surgery earlier this month or last year. But so we haven't got to make one in person yet, but we're like, okay, like I hope she doesn't stop asking because we love going. And unfortunately, like because they do sit they sit close behind you guys. I sometimes can get very heated when I'm watching it, and so I try not to.
That's what we need. That's what we want right behind the bench.
By the way, another thing we love. There's 2 assistant coaches or GAs. I'm not sure what they are.
They're awesome,
but it's a younger guy and a younger girl, but.
Yes, Tyus and Markeisha. I already know who you're talking about.
Oh my gosh. We watch them too just as much. Like I love that. And like I don't know. I love the whole energy of the team from Coach Jenny to the assistants. Are they assistants or GAs? I don't know what they are.
Assistants, yes.
They are assistants. Okay. I figured because they've been around a while or they're getting like doctorate degrees. But I mean,
they're
awesome.
with years nowadays because people like I'm a 5th year. People have been at school for 9 years. Who knows?
Truly, exactly. But man, we really love all that energy. But somebody did ask a question, and I don't know.
Oh, about it said 2Dub says I read Payton helped start an AAU program in her hometown. I was curious about the age levels of her teams and how she plans on getting the stud girls to OU. There we go.
Oh my gosh, yes. Me and my older sister, Ashton, she's a year older than me. She obviously, well, I'm still playing, but she's been kind of just coaching club basketball in the Kansas City area. And we had been talking about starting an AAU program just for kind of the kids that maybe don't want to go and play at like the EYBL level where they're traveling all over the place and maybe want a little more competitive than what they were playing at. So we decided to kind of start an AU program for those middle ground girls, which is where me and Ashton were growing up. And I think it's just honestly been such a blessing. Like we had no idea it would turn into like this whole super supportive like family. And it's sixth grade and seventh grade. So we have two teams right now, and then kind of like basically a team of like skills development. But I think that was just kind of our main thing was, trying to build skills in young girls and help them to be confident women. And obviously I actually got to show them around. They came to our game yesterday, sat right behind, the commentators were on TV, and they thought it was the coolest thing ever. So did I. Um,
Pretty
but I
sweet.
got to like show them around the locker room after, and I took them into like our locker room and was like, yeah, and if you guys ever want to play at this level, a lot of schools, the managers will like do the laundry for you, like you put your loop in here. They're
Yeah.
like, oh my God, this is the coolest thing ever. I want to come here. And I was like, it kind of honestly like was a reality check. I was like,
Mhm.
I'm, living some of these girls' dreams and living the dream that I had. So I think that was just such a breath of fresh air. And, obviously, trust, I'm recruiting all the girls here. So I'm like, yes, please do come. We want you
Yeah,
here.
absolutely. Yeah, and shout out to all the managers out there doing laundry because that's disgusting.
Absolutely. They're
I
like
once had to
holding it
touch
like this.
yeah,
I'm like, yeah, I don't blame you.
I had a teammate, she was like, "Oh, I forgot to put, like, something in the laundry. If you're still in the locker room, can you throw it in the pile for me?" I was like, "Yeah, sure." She's like, "You could just use your foot." I'm like, "Why would I do that?" Because I was just
Found
thinking,
out
like,
why.
I'm not a huge I thought I was a sweater. I'm not a sweater, apparently,
Nope,
according to
nope,
and
no,
I, like,
yeah.
went to touch it, and I was like, and I, like, definitely used my foot, and I went to our manager, I'm like, "How are you doing this?" Because
And they're doing it
that was
barehanded.
yeah,
Like they
no.
don't care. I'm like, y'all are built different because I could not do that.
Yeah.
No, absolutely not. Somebody else had a question here. Let me see if we can find it.
Which one was? Oh, it was about. I think.
Somebody says, "What do you think of the bench play? Seems much stronger." Which I know you touched on a little bit, but if I guess we can touch a little bit more.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, like I talked about, we had some really strong freshmen coming this year where, you kind of never know what to expect, even when you have super like high talented players coming in. You never know how that will, relate to college basketball because it's
Mhm.
hard. Like it's hard as a high school player to come in. You're 17, 18 years old and just trying to like kind of dip your toe in the water a little bit and not step on anyone's toes or anything like that. But honestly, just like the way they came in and we're just so happy and grateful to be here. I think that was something like you understand when you play at the college level. Like that's really unique. Like not everyone comes in with that mindset. So I think it honestly upped mine included, but everyone's level of, just gratefulness and competitiveness again on the floor. And I think it really helped excel like our sophomores too. So I think that's why our bench play has just been so good because of the opportunity and like the personality fit that our coaches and Jenny does such a good job of matching with whenever we recruit people. So just been a blessing to have all of them here, and our bench has just been so awesome this year. So hopefully we continue that through SEC play.
Right. And one thing you did mention is like the sophomore play increasing. Zaya Van is someone I enjoyed
Yes.
watching last year because she's just I say a little spark plug. She's still like 5'10", but she's like
Isn't y'all's
she's
shortest
little.
player like 5'9" or something like that? I
That's
believe you
I
have a
think,
pretty tall
yeah, I'm pretty
team.
sure Zaya is the shortest. We give her crap for it still, but
man,
yeah,
I just
short
could
is not
dream of
quite,
being
I don't
that
know the
tall.
term.
But she's someone that I have truly felt like even like you mentioned took that next step because like she's playing and I'm just like I just love watching her. Like she's just all over the place. Like I say they, it's my husband, and then he was friends with my brother, and so all my brother's friends used to watch me play. They used to call me like a little water bug, and that's like what I call her. Like she's just all over the place in
Yes.
in the best way. And it seems like she's another one that just doesn't run out of energy. And I don't know. I just wanted to shout her out there because she's somebody that I've really enjoyed watching as well.
Absolutely, and she deserves it. Like, she puts in so many hours, like, outside of practice, and, honestly, I know obviously, like, Skylar was here last year, and, like, that's sometimes hard to play, under your sister and figure
Mhm.
out who you are, like, as a person. So I think this year, like, her confidence, at least from what I've seen, like, off the floor and on the floor, has just
Mhm.
risen so much, and, she's just been honestly, like, so much better than anyone could have imagined this year, and it honestly is all because of the extra work that she puts in. So she deserves a shout out. And Kaya Smith, obviously coming off the bench too, has kind of been like our spark too. So
Mhm.
I'm just so proud of our sophomores, obviously coming this year and fighting that, so-called sophomore slump.
It's just wild here, and, like, you forget they're just kids. Like, we're 30. I'm 33. She's 30. So,
I'm 31,
and
but
I
I
heard
appreciate that extra year cut off. I
a
love that.
31. I heard a rumor that you might have a nickname. Are you on the team as well, like Grandma or something?
Yes, isn't it awful? I'm 22 years old, but
You're a
because I'm the
puppy. That's
fifth
yeah.
year, they're like,
Ah,
"You're old in basketball years." I'm like, "Okay."
that reminds
I
me
You're
of
I
like
talk
basically
about
the
it as
Alex
much as they do
Caruso of your
too.
team. I
yeah,
mean,
Which
how
like
they
okay,
six,
call
like
sorry.
you're
7
like
years
the
younger.
Alex Caruso of your
Yeah.
team. They call
Yeah.
him Uncle, and he's my age.
He's like 29.
I think he's
Like,
actually younger than me.
Yeah,
they're
we have to put on the
yeah.
headband and everything, so
Hey, both the great players.
How did you know that?
Because I do my research. Listen, I do deep research over here. Okay, these are my notes. I did want to ask, going back to Aaliyah Chavez, whose name I've never gotten wrong before in the history of interviews. I just want to ask because obviously you land the number one recruit. It's obviously not just a big deal, but I think a reflection on what someone who has any option thinks of the program. Obviously, of Coach Jenny. I won't try to say the last name because
I feel
I
like
will
I change
fumble it.
that. I feel like I mess it
And
up every time too.
also,
Check.
yeah, and also what she thinks of the incoming teammates she'll have. Right. So a compliment to you, to Reagan. But I gotta ask, was there a little bit of we'll see how good the girl is when she gets on campus? A little bit of that at all, or was it just? I mean, I think y'all are competitive. I mean, I don't think I know y'all are competitive. So I mean, for me, it was if I was ever gifted to be that good,
He's also a dude.
yeah, that's true. Well, I still think though. I mean, I have to ask: was there a little bit of like, we'll see how good she is, and then was there a little bit of all right, she's pretty good, like kind
Oh,
of.
yeah, and that's exactly I mean, anytime that you have, like I said, like, highly sought after recruits that are like, like you said, they can go anywhere and they choose to come to Oklahoma, so obviously, that says a lot about the program that Jenny has created and the culture that she's created. But then just as a competitor, you're like, "Okay, let's see what they see what these are freshmen are about, let's see what she's about." So, obviously, like I said, getting her and getting them on campus, it was like, wow, like, exceeded expectations, not just like skill wise, like obviously that's the first thing you think of, like, okay, can she get a bucket, like can she run the offense, but honestly just like as people, like you said, I mean at the
Mm.
beginning where it's like the things, you're going to have always these records or these wins and losses and all these things that you do on the court, but at the end of the day it's like how you treat people off the floor is how people will remember you, and I think that is something that our freshmen came in and just like blew me away with. And so I think that like more than anything really makes you set aside like all of the other things that are being said on social media and all these like, oh, number one. And I think it's just like, okay, at the end of the day, like you said, like they're kids, they're people, so it's like it's my job, as a leader, as a grandma on the team, to really just pave the path for them and make it as easy as possible.
Real quick, I just wanted to ask real quick, and then we'll go to a question here by Kim Smith. You and Reagan are also are two of I believe the big names on the team, and I would say that of the team returning, you two were the names that stuck out to me at least.
Hmm.
How do y'all balance, like leadership? Are y'all both vocal? Are you more vocal and Reagan is more action? I'm just curious how that dynamic works between the two. Or I might be
Yeah.
wrong. Is it more than just you two? I don't know.
No, that's on. I think that Ray and I, obviously, just because of like us being seniors, super seniors, whatever, naturally take on that role. And I know Sahara has a big piece in that too. And I would say that like Sahara and I are definitely more of like the vocal leaders and like action leaders. And Reagan's like the mom, where she like comes and she's like, I'm gonna take care of you guys. Like she'll make us goodie baskets and all that stuff, but she's also like, make sure you show up on time.
Yeah. It's like, don't
So
do-
she does a good job balancing it. And obviously, another thing, I'm like, maybe I need to take a little piece of that and add it to my leadership, where I'm like, let's just do it and get it done, guys. Like, come on. But again, maybe that's, my fifth year in basketball. It's like, all right, guys, I've been around the block. If we just do it and make them happy, then we don't have to do anything else. So come on, let's just do it.
Yeah.
So I think like the balance of the three of us really, is nice because when you just have like one leader, it's really hard when they have to carry the weight of all that stuff, kind of like you talked about last year of like on the floor. But when you're able to, have the different pieces of on the floor, off the floor, and all the ways to take care of your players, I think it makes it a lot easier on the team.
Awesome. Well, Kim has a question. What is your college day like during the season?
Oh, great question. For like home games, we'll usually have like shoot around in the morning. This is like saying we play at like 5 to 7 p.m., I think is the weekday time for
Mhm.
SEC. Usually we have shoot around and then team meal, and then we kind of have just like a gap in between shoot around and playing. And usually like if my family's here, I'll hang out with my family until I have to go back to the gym. But if not, I usually am just back here. I live with Beatrice, so she's my roommate, and we probably spend way too much time together. But we come back here. We've been on a Survivor grind right now. We've been grinding out
Ooh,
all
nice.
like the old Survivor seasons and stuff.
I went through
So
that while too. They had a few seasons on Netflix that were pretty good
yes,
that I
yeah,
noticed.
we watched all those. So then her dad bought Paramount Plus or whatever. So now we're like watching it on there. It's bad. It's like an addiction right now. But usually I'm pretty chill. Like I like to, get my coffee or I go to the Tower, which is like on campus. It's like a tea place.
Hmm.
But I'm a pretty chill person. So like after shoot around, I like to just relax, and then I usually get to the gym like 2 hours before the game and shoot around and get warm. I'm to that age now where I'm like, I need a little bit more time to warm up than I used to at 18.
Yeah.
So I think finding that out, about your body, how it ages a little bit faster when you're playing college basketball. But then, after the game, they give us a meal and I go home and I go to bed. It's pretty simple and boring, but
Apparently, you got to get to season 50. That one's the next
There's
one coming
that
up.
many seasons?
Dude.
I don't think I've
yeah, I
ever
know.
watched an
I know
episode of
50 is
Survivor.
like the newest one coming out, and everyone's
Holy
kind of like
smokes.
hating on it because they're adding a bunch of celebrity, like the Billie Eilish idol and stuff like that. So
There's
who knows?
there's one guy that was like a cop from New York. He's won twice. He won like the winners Survivor.
Yes. Oh,
And
and
he
I
like
can't think
lied
of his
in
name
both of
now.
them.
No,
Which
I
to me,
know.
tell me how you feel about this. Maybe I guess I'm a Slytherin from Harry Potter, whatever it is.
Okay,
I'm like, look,
understood.
the point of the whole game is to just fool people until you are the last one
Yeah.
standing. I don't. So for he like lied about having a kid and wife that were sick, and he needed the money to take care of them. And I'm like, dude, I mean, at the end of the day, you voted to keep him on. It obviously worked. The point of the game is to
Yeah.
win.
He
I mean, I'm
played the
not.
game.
That's
I'm there with you.
I'm
Like
just like
people will be like, I can't believe you didn't tell me that you were a broadcaster, and it's like, did
I
that
don't
really
know.
matter?
It's like, why can't you? You should have
I
been in
know.
this game. Yeah, I mean,
I
personally,
say I wouldn't do that until I'm like in a game. I'm on game. We don't get along on game
no.
night.
And it's my wife's
honestly.
fault. She says it's mine. The problem is
Oh.
she knows like she knows the little phrases that'll just start to like I don't know how to say it, but it's like a little drip of a faucet,
And you don't
and like
either?
you leave that going and it's going to be overflowing. I don't
I
go to
think they
those.
call
No.
that rage baiting now.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, the lingo, rage bait.
We haven't had a game night in a while. There might be a reason, but
Well, because y'all couldn't handle losing. It was.
no, boys couldn't handle losing.
How was your eye doing?
Yeah, someone said, "How's your eyes doing?" Look like you got.
I know.
Oh,
Yeah, I got like the little baby black eye during the
Oh,
game.
whoa.
yeah, you can see it.
It looks worse on camera, I think, than it actually is. But I genuinely have no idea how it happened. Like my contact fell out of this eye during the game, but then I got a black eye on this eye, so I'm not
just plain
sure how that
blind.
happened.
I am legally blind without contacts, so
Yeah,
I
would be done.
I'd be yeah. I
Oh,
couldn't
I
walk.
caught it and I was like, no, I need this.
I know I need this
I have to
100%.
have it.
You don't have extra contacts on the sideline?
I do, but it was like
Okay.
it's like my I don't even know, just like my safety. I'm like, I don't want to lose
Yeah.
this one because
Yeah,
what if the
fair
other one
enough.
doesn't
Because what if
work?
the other one doesn't work? No, I get it.
Exactly.
The anxiety kicks in. That was me. I feel like when I would pack my bag to see if my shoes were there, about 87 times before we left.
Yep. I would like opening it, like, okay, hold on one more time.
Still there. So you mentioned, you grew up in a big basketball family. Who did you look up to growing up? Like, was there a certain player that you just I hate saying idolized, but idolized, I guess,
Yeah.
essentially, when you were younger?
Yeah.
Younger, 'cause you're not a grandma.
Thank you.
Mhm.
I need to be reassured sometimes. But honestly, like growing up in a basketball family, my mom played, so I feel like for me, like my mom was honestly like my biggest teacher and idol. So and like my grandpa, they grew up in a small town and my grandpa was like he ran the show there. Like they have a gym named after him and everything and like I thought
Wow.
that was the coolest thing ever. Still do. And he's like, it's not a big deal. I'm like, yeah, it is.
Yeah.
So he still sends me messages like after games and he's like, keep your feet balanced. Like you're not bending your legs enough in your shot. I'm like, thank you. I needed to hear that. And my mom does a good job of like supporting me now. Like when you get to the age where it's like she's not really your coach anymore. So
Right.
just learning how to support you.
Did your mom you mentioned she's like one of your coaches. Was she the one who's mainly in the gym with you growing up?
Oh yeah. Sorry, I'm like choking.
You're fine.
Okay.
Please don't choke on our show. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
I'm good for virality, but not for the team.
But yeah, honestly, like my mom, my dad, all my siblings, we had actually a court in our backyard. So we would all go out there and I can't even imagine how many teeth I lost on that court and how many times I got beat up. It was just like
Build character.
never ending. And like my brothers were like, "Oh, you think you're good?" Like whenever I started getting recruited, and they're like, "Oh, you think you're
Mhm.
good? Come play me 1-on-1." And they'd still cook me, and I was like, "God, it just never ends." But it
I guess
honestly
speaking
made
of
me
boy
so
girl here,
competitive now. So
it says, "Does the girl team ever scrimmage the boys team?" Can
uh,
imagine
yeah,
that
no,
happening.
not quite at this level.
Yeah.
We don't want to get dunked on or anything like
Do
that.
y'all do I've heard that
Like
some
a
teams will
scout
do like
team.
a scout team with just like, some guys on the other side, or do y'all do that?
Oh yeah, we have scout guys that just like people that some of our staff like just recruit from the rec here or like our managers will
Oh,
play.
that'd be sick.
Felt.
I know.
Could you
And they
imagine
all
being
have
in a
so
frat and
much
you
fun. They
get
talk so
like
much crap and
called up
everything.
Oh
do they?
yeah. No, that when I was at Arkansas Tech, our scout team was like people's boyfriends, one of our male cheerleaders that apparently was really good, and then like the boyfriends' friends. Like it was, and they definitely talked crap. And even then, our coach would be like, "Hey, like don't dunk on them. Like
Yeah.
go
Oh
hard,
yeah.
but like don't hurt our girls." And I remember the male cheerleader, which I know this people are kind of probably make fun of that, but the dude could jump. And
Yeah.
anytime I would shoot a three, homie would just go flying. And he wouldn't do it for anyone else. I'm like, "That is not fair." He's like, "Well, I
Yeah,
don't
like
think anyone else is
why?
gonna make it." And I'm like
Did his
I was
athletic
like,
ability remind you of me?
"No."
Okay. Well,
Well,
But it's like
too funny.
unfair the athleticism like difference.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like I played
yeah.
basketball my whole life and it's like he just jumps over me. It's like, well, what am I supposed to do?
Exactly, and I don't even know if he really he was pretty good, but it's like, I don't even know if he really even played. I
Right.
definitely know
Right.
none of the boyfriends and their friends played at the collegiate level because they would have been doing it, and it's just
Yeah, they would have been
they were
there.
insane. Um
Uh Tattoo Baker asks, "Hi Peyton, long-time listener, short-time fan. Been here for 2 years." There we go. What is your Louis on campus order?
Oh, I love Louis. Like whenever my family comes, I make them go there and pay for my meal and everything. But I've been on their like chicken Caesar wrap lately with some fries
Mm.
on the side. Don't tell Jenny that. But
good
they're
carbs.
yeah, exactly. It's good for you. But yeah, their wrap's good, their pizza's good. Honestly, I get like different things every time because I try to, mix it up a little bit, not get tired of anything. And their nachos are good too. That was a lot, but
Yeah. No, but all their
No, I
food's
mean,
pretty
Louis
solid.
is it's pretty solid.
Have
yeah.
you been up to the Deep Deuce in the city?
Say it again. Sorry.
Have you Deep Deuce in the city?
I don't
What
think
is it called?
so.
That's like when you graduate college and you have like a job. That's going to be your next
Like
level
my
of Louis,
next
I think.
level.
It's
Okay.
unbelievably good. Yeah,
Okay.
it's
I say
awesome. It's
that
an open city.
though. Louis is
Louis is
good.
really
I
good.
don't
That sounded like it's a different vibe.
don't walk on Louis, but it is cool. It's got like an indoor outdoor vibe. It's like literally half and half indoor outdoor. It's a really good place to watch a game too.
Yep.
I love that.
They got
Yeah,
I
and
good
that's
food.
like I like going to Louis for that reason too, where it's like,
right.
yeah, I just like to, bar and grill. They got all the games on and everything, and I can just eat
Absolutely.
real.
I
Michael does want to know, how do you
oh
keep your
sorry.
cool and not retaliate when elbows are flying?
I don't know if I'm a good person to ask for that, but I I retaliate less with like physical things and more with words. So I don't know if I do a good job of keeping my cool, but I guess based on I didn't give someone else a black eye. I must have done well yesterday, so I'll take it.
Yeah. Words are a little bit harder to get text on. You can be a little sneakier with that.
Yeah,
So
exactly. You just have to turn away from the ref. You understand?
right, absolutely.
I wanted to ask about the March Madness. Obviously, it is like in law we would say the sine qua non, the reason for playing. You know, you want to win the championship. What was it like playing in the Sweet 16, obviously in Norman, but also what did you learn from that experience that you think is going to help you all when you're back in the Sweet 16 this year?
Oh yeah. I mean, like first and foremost, like being able to host is such a strength and a benefit. Like that was obviously since Jenny's been at Oklahoma, getting past that second round was really like a big goal for us last year. And so that was the first time since I've been here that we hosted. And that was really awesome. Like obviously we played Florida Gulf Coast in our first game and we ended up winning that. And then we played against Iowa, which there was like, a lot of history. Jenny played at Iowa and all that, that they were trying to come and bait you for questions before the game and everything like that. But it was just really cool. Like we had football was there, volleyball was there, like all our sports teams were there because the coaches had like moved practice around our game. So like that was honestly like one of the biggest things that I learned was like, oh, it matters like what you do during the year to be able to get here and host for the first two
Mm.
games. And then obviously we made it past the second round, got to the Sweet 16 and played against UConn, who was having a great tournament.
Yeah, yeah.
So and we were the only, I mean, not that it matters because we lost the game, but we were one of the two teams that were beating them at halftime for the whole
Right.
season. So, just knowing like we were right there with like the national champions. So I think that was honestly something like you can't ever like we were up at halftime. We can't ever like relax in the third quarter. You can't ever relax, period, especially at that time of the year. So I think just having that under some of our belts that were there will help just kind of lead the way for our freshmen this year.
Absolutely. And that's one thing that you can never like you didn't win, but like the experience that you gained is you can't just duplicate that. You
Yeah.
have to kind of go through it and it only makes you stronger in the end. So, if you do get there, you have several people that have played in that big time game and maybe it doesn't feel as much pressure or whatever it might be. It was pretty awesome though. I love the one I did here too about the coach. Everybody was like, "Go watch this game, like practice canceled or practice moved." I'm like, I love that. Like
That
that's
was yeah.
we should just do that for every game.
I know. That's why I'm like, it was so cool and obviously made us feel special. We were like hype at the game and stuff. We're like, everyone's here.
Yeah.
So I'm like, Jenny, yeah, do that for us. Like, let's go support other teams too.
The Bowden at the one Bowden said, "What time is the game on Thursday?" It is at 6 o'clock.
Thank you, because I didn't know.
Yeah, ask real quick.
Well, I know Ole Miss is who we play, so
Yeah.
Yes, and another good team. Not
yeah,
that there's a fall off much in the SEC, but
correct. Which is
It's SEC
good
bye.
and bad. You're never gonna have a relaxing night, but it's also the best thing that can get you prepared for the tournament at the end. So it's a
absolutely.
good conference. That's all I can say.
I'm curious on like from a player's perspective. I always have this like analogy, I guess, that in football, everyone knows the quarterback or receivers are the skill positions because they're always the flashy ones on TV. But really, when Nick Saban had his run at Alabama or Kirby Smart even at Georgia, like the defensive and offensive lines were what were dominant, really. And for most people, would overlook that and not. But people who knew the game or were involved in athletics would kind of know that was the reason why the train would run, if you will. In
Yeah,
basketball, when you see really good teams that make runs for championships, what is it about those teams typically that you think they share in terms of characteristics?
that's a good question. I would say honestly, like you can like in basketball specifically too, you can like see chemistry on the floor, like
Mm.
hardcore, like both ways. Like if you don't have it and if you have it. So I feel like you can really see that. Like honestly, that was something I saw in UConn last year, like seeing them win was just like they weren't afraid if Paige was going off and it was give the ball to Paige, go set her a screen. And I think that's something that in basketball it's a unique sport where you can do that. You can like kind of call someone out, ISO them, like get them an opportunity to score. Um, so I think just honestly, I mean, some of that comes to the coach, like being able to call like for a player, a certain play or something, but a lot of that comes just from the chemistry of knowing who you're playing with and knowing how to get them the ball. Like if it's Reagan, obviously I'm not going to go set her a ball screen. Like I'm going to tell her to get her butt in the paint and I'm going to give her the ball. So I think just like knowing how to feed your teammates, knowing like where they're best at and knowing who's hot, I think that's just like what matters at the end of the day. Like
The
obviously
knowing
the
who's
whole
hot
game.
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
I
mean,
thought we were gonna keep going.
no,
Sorry.
I was, and I realized I interrupted. Oh crap! Because the knowing who's hot. I mean, seriously, it doesn't matter who it is. Like I've been on teams where it's like your eighth man for whatever reason's having a hot day, and they're normally not a scorer, but you're like, hey, where is this person? Like,
Mm.
you're just getting them the ball, and until they prove to me they can't make it. Like, here's your
Yep.
ball. Or with Reagan, can having some mismatches down low, like you want to try to utilize that as best as you can. And
we had a quick question here. I think is good. What advice would you offer young girls, either academically, emotionally, athletically, or all? Do you have a favorite life phrase? Oh, sorry.
No, you're good. I think honestly, the biggest thing that I again have learned like at this level is that you kind of have to find your worth off the floor too. Like you spend so much time in your sport, like for me, basketball, obviously, like you spend so much time working out and with your team and like just playing basketball, and there's so many ups and downs in sports that it's really hard to just put your worth in your sport because like you're going to end up unhappy at the end of the day no matter what. So I think the biggest thing for me like is religion, and like my faith is a big part of my life. So I think just finding myself in that outside of basketball has been something that's super important for me and just helps to kind of see the bigger picture and realize like at the end of the day I get to play a sport as my job right now, and there's people that are paying to go to school, and it's like I'm really like living a very nice life no matter how many workouts suck or how many games I lose or how many shots I miss. At the end of the day, like I know this is all for a bigger purpose, so I think that helps me.
so
Wow.
for like bigger purpose wise, what are you majoring in, or like what are you hoping to do in your true adult life?
Yes. Thank you. True adult life.
I always say college because they're technically adults, but there's a
I
reason we
know
say
it's
college
not for
kids.
real until you're
Yeah.
done. I am education and special education. So I would love to be like an elementary school teacher and work in like special education too. So finding like the balance of that in a school. And then obviously being able to do the AU program with my sister. I'm just a big like family person. So I would love to like be back in Kansas in that area, like near my family. I have, my brother finally had a kid. So I have one nephew right now, and I'm like,
Uh-huh.
he's the cutest thing to me. So I just, want to be a teacher, and like at the end of the day, I want to, be a mother and have a family. So that's like the biggest goals for me.
Very, very good goals.
You've been very gracious with your time. I just have a couple more questions that I'm just
Oh,
curious.
don't even worry.
For young, because I have some friends with young daughters that are pretty athletic, in my opinion. But I'm biased, to be fair. Um, I'm just curious what an average day growing up. Obviously, you believe you're McDonald's All American out of high school. I played on that 17 and under USA 3-on-3 team. Is
I
that
did
right?
5-on-5.
5-on-5. Okay, is there okay
Yes.
on the okay? And then you played also on the USA team for the 21 and under, right, or 2019
Yes.
team? Okay,
Yes.
look at that. I'm telling you, deep. Yes. I'm wondering what was the practice schedule like, because there's a lot of, when you ask advice, a lot of times you'll hear people say, like, find what you're passionate about, chase your dreams. I think people underestimate, and to Tierney's credit, we used to call it, her mom would run her practices, and we would call it boot camp because she would be the gym all day. And me and my friends would run around and like leave and going. Just what was the practice like when you were growing up? Because just to put it in perspective for how hard, it truly is hard work. Like obviously you're living your dream, like you said, and doing a lot of really cool things, but that comes on the shoulders of a lot of work you put in growing up. And I just to put it in perspective for maybe if any young people are listening or are going to be able to hear the interview, like how much that really took.
Yeah, I honestly like looking back, it's crazy to think like how much time I spent in the gym and I didn't even like realize it because it was
Mhm.
again like something I just loved, and like I was with my friends or my family, so I didn't really feel like I was like working out or like spending time, like getting my butt kicked, and there was plenty of workouts that I did, but honestly, I think for me I just like I would be in the gym, like, doing camps with my mom. I would be in the gym, like, helping with stuff at my high school before I got there, and I would just be in the gym for probably, like, 6 to 7 hours just, like, helping with stuff, and even, like, obviously, I wasn't working out for 6 to 7 hours in a row,
Mhm.
but it's, like, just, like, being in there and it, like, just kind of, just tossing the ball around sometimes, like, shooting, like, doing some mic and layups or something, just, like, spinning it off the goal and seeing, like, "Oh, how far can I spin it this way to, like, get it to still go in?" So I think just like honestly, that's what I remember most about like growing up and like just being in the gym where it wasn't just like, okay, I'm gonna go be miserable, and work out for an hour and a half or 2 hours or however long. I think it was more like, how can I like, make this fun and like spend time in here and like actually enjoy it and actually want to come back the next day. And not that it was always like that. There's gonna be days where you don't want to work out and you still have to go do it. But I do think that like ultimately at the end of the day, that is what builds confidence. And I think
Mhm.
that's the biggest thing, especially as a female athlete. I think the more confident you can be in what you're good at and like what you do on the court, off the court, whatever you're doing, but like in this case on the court, the more that you can become confident in it, the better that you perform and like the better that you are. And so I think that was the biggest thing for me to learn.
Hitting that step back has to be one of the most satisfying feelings of all time. Because I know some of them are talking noise to you, like, and you just, oh, that'd be so sick. If I
Oh
just could do
yeah,
one.
I don't, and again, have no idea like where I learned that from. I don't know
Right.
why that became my move,
Just
but it
second
was like
nature.
in practice, I'm just like boom, boom, and I'm like, I don't know why. I don't know why I did that.
You, Luca, and Larry Bird are very good at that step back shot. So there you go.
Good
It's good
company.
I get
company.
to make up for the, lack of athletic ability somehow, some way. So it's like that's usually a good like, okay, I can
Uh,
get away from the defender.
sorry, last question for me at least. And again, thank you for giving us almost an hour
Of
here.
course.
We're almost at 800 people, by the way. If you're watching, please throw a like on the YouTube channel and a comment. We'd appreciate it. I'm curious about the NIL transfer portal situation. Don't have to get into numbers. I'm not asking for that. But how has it changed? You had mentioned that you've been in college basketball for a while. From when you first started, and I guess just in general, how has that changed? Just the sports landscape really in college basketball and specifically.
Yeah. So like my first year when I was at Louisville, like my first year and a half that I was there. Like my freshman year, we went to the Final Four, and like this is NIL wasn't even a thing. Like no one even knew like you were getting paid to do anything. Like every once in a while, people would reach out and be like, "Yo, do you want to do a sponsorship for like McDonald's or something like that?" But it was like for a gift card. It wasn't for like
Yeah.
$1 million. So that was, and so I can't even imagine like being a part of that team because that was like Haley Van Lith and like huge
Mm.
players there that like if NIL was a thing, they were making like a lot of money if that would have been a thing. So then like getting to Oklahoma now, and honestly, my first year here, really wasn't a thing, but it wasn't until like my true senior year and then this year, my extra senior year, um, NIL is obviously like blown up. Mostly, I mean, you see it mostly for like football. That's and the reality is like football and men's basketball is where football, especially where the money is going to be at. Um, I just think it's crazy, like the the reality that I mean, me too, but like players they're going to be facing after college, where it's like I'm going into education and I'm going to be making $45,000 a year, and like I'm like, and some of these football players that are making millions and millions of dollars and they're gonna go get a real job after they're done, after they gotta hang up the
Fair
cleats. And
enough.
it's like, yeah, we're just setting people up for failure, I feel like.
Yeah.
And it's so hard because I understand like, the revenue share and like how sports bring money in, and I get that. But it's just like it's becoming a whole different beast now. And it's really hard when I mean, hopefully women's basketball can kind of dodge it a little bit just because I think the money is truly in like men's sports and basketball and football. But I just hope that it can stay like pure and that like,
Mhm.
we still take care of, our freshmen that are coming in. We're not just looking to get portal kids every year and all that stuff. So it's just a whole different beast now. I don't even want to know what's going to happen in the future with it. I don't want to be part of it. But it's awesome for kids that, like might not come from a lot of money, and like that's life changing for them. Like that's generational changing. So like that's so awesome and like that's great. But I just truly hope that they take care of these kids at the end of the day and like prepare them for life after college.
Right. And I do love that you were a part of the non NIL and now the NIL era because we're old, so we were not a part of the NIL era. So for us, like getting our education paid for, getting our meals, getting our books, all that stuff was like, heck yeah. Like
Oh yeah,
we're going
debt free.
debt
Yeah.
free. Absolutely. Like
Yeah.
it was a really and that was a big deal. And that was something we were grateful for. So while we understand NIL, there's also that part of us that's like, okay, but like let's not say people weren't getting paid because
or not getting a benefit was the big issue. Like, I'm like,
it's like
you're getting
it was a huge benefit. And if you're playing like at a place like OU, all the connections you make.
Absolutely.
Like you if you you're gonna go back to Kansas, so people still would know Oklahoma, but if you especially stayed like in Oklahoma, just having your name on a resume, people are like, wait a minute, I watched her play. Like and now imagine if it is, like you mentioned, like a football player.
Yeah.
And like you can't just overstep, like you can't overlook like those connections and things like that. And you mentioned, McDonald's would have come to us for a gift card, and that would have been like, heck yeah, like I'm getting a gift card from McDonald's.
And I'd be like, heck, I'll do it.
Exactly.
There was a interview just a clip. I was watching a lineman from Indiana last year got $300,000 and he played 1 year at Indiana, and that's like it's 3 times more than his salary now at his job. But he goes, he's like, I re-signed with Indiana, and we were partying, and I got a text saying my check has been deposited. And I look at my account and there's 300,000 just sitting there. And he's like, I went crazy. We spent like, and he's in a bar, and so he spends a lot of money. And he's like, that was so dumb. And I'm like, how many kids are just? It's like you're saying, you don't realize that that's not gonna last, especially once you graduate.
Yeah, because you're like, oh, if I'm getting this every year for that whole lot, it's like, no, that's not real money. Like that's not realistic. People aren't making that money.
No, not every year. And here's the thing, and like you can have a good income, and it still is not going to be close to what you had in college. So it's like that's where I like, and I keep bringing up football, but like Brent Venables having the Soul Mission where they teach the financial literacy.
Yeah,
I think that should really and maybe it's becoming more universal at other colleges, but it should almost be required now.
Absolutely.
With NIL for every single athlete, no matter, I don't care if you're on the rowing team or the football team, like even then.
I remember John Calipari said at Kentucky, he made his team take a financial literacy class. And then I remember John Wall and when he had DeMarcus Cousins and Anthony Davis on the same team, they talked about how, of course, Anthony Davis has made like $400 million. So I'm sure like if you go through that, you got problems. But
they're like 18 years old. It's like they're not going to know what to do. No one's telling them. So if you don't like require them to like figure it out and like take a course or like teach them how, because a lot of these kids like don't know anything about taxes either. So it's like you don't get all that money. Like you're paying a lot of that back. So it's like, if they go out, that guy sees $300,000, he's like, oh, this is all mine. And it's like, no, like you got to pay taxes still. So they're like, oh, it's already gone.
I mean, we're in our 30s, and if we saw $300,000 just pop on our extra in our account one day, we might consider doing something stupid.
Either that or T's part of the cartel, and I didn't know about it, or something of the sort.
Yeah, you're like, where did this come from?
Where did this come from?
So I'm not saying it's a deal breaker, but I would need to know at least.
No, but I'm just going to ask the chat. Does anybody else have any questions for Payton? We told her it would only last 30 minutes. She's been nice enough to be here an hour.
No, I literally don't. It's our off day today, so like this is my free time. This is perfect.
I love it. I was about to ask if you guys practice on Monday after a Sunday game, or if you just kind of.
Mondays are off during SEC play, so.
There you go. All about keeping healthy.
Yes.
There you go.
Okay, I like this one. When people realize women's sports are superior from passion the athletes have, the money will follow.
Yes.
I think there's a lot.
Yeah. Go ahead. Sorry.
No. Go.
I just think like, especially women's basketball, I know like men's basketball is a little different. Like you can get, the one and dones, they get to go to the NBA and stuff. Like I think women's basketball, like women's sports in general, is if we can like do it right with the NIL stuff or however we need to, like you get to keep players there for 4 years, like you get to actually build a bond, you get to actually support them for all that time. But yeah, hopefully NIL doesn't become like this, oh, I'm going to transfer here for 1 year and then transfer here and then go get more money here. And then it's like, I hope it can create like really give back to like people that like the loyalty, like really feed those kids that are like, you know what? This girl committed here when we weren't a big program. Now we are, and she stayed here this whole time. Like, let's, give money to that instead of, let's go get somebody from the portal. Let's been 3 different places, and this is their 4th place. So, I don't know. Looking at it like that, hopefully, coaches. But at the end of the day, they got to win. So sometimes you got to understand that too.
Yeah,
that's one thing I had mentioned to Chad about like the whole NIL thing. I was like, that's one thing I can appreciate about women's sports. I'm like, I'm not having to learn a whole new team every year. with women's basketball or gymnastics or softball. Like, yeah, a few players here and there, sure, but not like seemingly like 10 new people. Like, it's not the turnovers. So I can actually appreciate these girls, or I can actually feel like I'm a fan of the girls themselves instead of just the unit, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I'm not afraid to buy the jersey and it's going to go out of style next year because they don't go here anymore.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That is my new rule for basically, like, not that I buy a lot of football jerseys anyway, that from people who didn't play a long time ago, but I'm like, I will not buy a jersey or a t-shirt with somebody's name on it football wise until they graduate.
Yeah, like, that's smart.
I'm just not doing it. But I think I even like branched out. I bought like a Danny Stutzman jersey, but I left it blank on the back because I was like, it could be Adrian Peterson in the event that Danny decides to leave. But
no one will ever know.
I was like, I never wear it to softball with Kelly Maxwell. Like, it was a whole thing where I was just like, I can rationalize this.
Yeah.
But no, we really do appreciate you coming on. We've enjoyed watching you play the last few years at OU. We will hopefully get to enjoy watching you play and getting lots of wins in the next month or two. I guess really 2, yes, because then we get into March Madness.
Yep.
Any parting words for fans out there?
No, thank you all so much for having me on, and obviously for everyone watching that's been keeping up with our games, or if you haven't, SEC play is the best time of the year for women's basketball, and obviously a super strong conference. So there's any game you turn on, week or weekend, it's going to be a good game. So just catch one of them at least.
Yeah, awesome. and pack the Lloyd Noble Center whenever these big teams come in.
Absolutely.
Yes.
All right, awesome. Thank you, Payton. Good luck the rest of the year.
Thank you so much.
Yep. Thank you. How awesome was that?
Pretty awesome.
Always great to have legit just athletes from the University of Oklahoma join us.
I'm surprised you didn't do your typical line of someone who might be as athletic as me.
Well, I don't want to be disrespectful to the guest. I obviously someone who might be a better shooter than I am. And
well, I'm here every week. So
there we go. That was awesome. Come on, that was fantastic. Sorry to move this up a little bit. No, but that was pretty cool. We are very lucky to get to do this, and it's really because of y'all. They a lot of people. Luckily our show has been growing, and it really is really, really cool that you guys will take time to watch. Next week we also have the GOAT,
the one, the only,
the GOAT. I mean, legit. You say I say it a lot jokingly, but tell me if I'm wrong. Is she not considered?
She's considered
the greatest of all time.
GOAT, yeah,
the Saban of.
She's the Saban of gymnastics.
There's got to be an alliterative like slang. The Saban of the Saban of something. The Saban of, like they had the Sultan of SWAT, for Babe Ruth, all that. I'm thinking of the Saban of, the Saban of, someone in chat that's more witty than I am, or
something like a gymnastics term.
Yes,
with the S.
Yeah, the Saban of scores, the Saban of.
I have no idea.
Anyways,
he'll work on that for next week. Payton
was awesome though, really, really cool. I was watching an interview earlier on YouTube, and they called her. I think it was Andy. He's an ESPN host. It's on the Ref now a lot. Andy.
I'm not good with names.
Oh gosh, I forget his last name. But he said that they called her grandma. It was funny. The Patty of.
Yeah, she's the Patty of gymnastics.
Yeah, I would like to have some alliteration there. The Saban of. Anyway, we'll think of it and get back to it next week. We're going to go Zeno Zone now. We're going to make a video about the portal.
But we never said. If you didn't know, we're talking about KJ Kindler.
Oh, yeah, KJ Kindler.
She will be on our show. She is the women's gymnastics coach. She's brought us several natties, and she is currently the reigning national championship coach, and we hope there's a back-to-back in that. Yeah, what the one, I can't count. What the one Bowden said, or Bowden. Hit the like button.
Please.
800 of you watching this. If 50 of you could jump onto YouTube and like it, that'd be great. The gas of gymnastics. We have really amazing women's coaches at Oklahoma. We have Jenny, we have Patty, we have KJ. Just wow.
It really is kind of wild, right? Honestly.
It's amazing
how successful they are. Yeah, thank y'all so much, and it really does help a lot when y'all comment questions and kind of help out. It just it just helps, I think, the interview go a little more smoothly.
And also, the more that you guys like the video, the more that our video gets out there. So players like Payton and the women's basketball program can get some more recognition. Just another platform for them to come on to. as well as it makes us feel good.
Yeah.
And if all else fails, do it for Zeno. If you
Yeah.
like dogs, do it for the dogs.
Yeah. Do it for
Zeno.
the canines. Oh wait, I need to keep talking. Stall a little bit. I got to
Speaking of
download.
which, he hasn't downloaded Zeno
I
Zone.
haven't. This is my
So
fault.
speaking of Zeno Zone, Zeno had a tough week. Last week he went 1 for 3, or 1 and 3. He went 1 for 4. He only won the Ole Miss game, but hey, he chose Ole Miss. I don't think many people were choosing Ole Miss over Georgia the way that they were playing. With the exception of Indiana, who stomped Alabama, it appears that having that first round bye might be a disadvantage.
Dude, no joke.
You're a little more rusty. You haven't played in a while. The chemistry is off. The Saban of somersaults.
Dude, there we go. Mom.
That's
Kim, my bad. Sorry.
Whatever.
Whoa.
Yeah. So I was gonna say some pretty great games, and I realized I'd be lying. Some pretty boring games.
Yeah, they're one good one.
Watching Miami, Miami, Ohio State was good in the sense I don't think anybody really expected that to go how it went either.
Mm-hmm.
But it was still low-key boring.
Right.
I think basically the United States celebrated watching Alabama lose, but that was still a boring game.
Right.
Texas Tech, boring game to watch them lose to Oregon. And I say that I love football, but I'm sitting there watching it and I'm looking at Chad. I'm like, am I bored? Like, am I bored right now?
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, it kind of feels that way, huh? And then, man, but that's okay. All the action that was in that Ole Miss Georgia game really made up for it.
That was unbelievable.
Phenomenal football. The refs tried to keep Georgia in it. Big shocker there. But today, the football god said, not today.
Not today.
Not today.
We'll mention real quick, Oklahoma did add 7 recruits in the portal. Today felt like whenever you like put the quarter in the candy machine and you twist and it just all falls out. It was there was just one after another. You couldn't really get a hold on it. Just one commit, one another, and then luckily they got about 5-6 guys that I feel like are legit going to be competitors.
More like one of those like arcade games where you like push it and like.
There we go. That's fine too. That works. A lot of great additions. Obviously, my number one thing for us. It's not like it was a big break. Yeah, you can. It's not like it was a great take, but I think a lot of people had it, is the tight end position. And we got 2. We got Rocky Beers, all-time NIL name. There's a lot you can do with that. I think a lot of companies are going to be looking to have a guy whose last name is literally Beers to do some NIL stuff.
And he has a sister.
So
they could, well, he'll be on campus next year, and she won't.
Well, that's true.
If he's not, but if he comes to campus in the spring.
Yeah, I think he is. But
you double fist the Beers. Sorry.
Yeah. Obviously, and then you get Hansen out of Florida, 6'8" tight end. Someone had a tweet out, and I meant to save it before we started, but did the size difference comparison to what we had on campus or at the position last year, just now with Rocky and Hansen in, and you're looking at already just with Rocky 6'5", 250. 240, whatever it is, but can move, good, understands the positioning in the slot with a lot more muscle.
Meat.
A lot more muscle. Well, yeah. There is, adding that position again to me adds so much to the offense and what it can do. You saw there's a lot of video going around with Hansen at Florida, the tight end. If you want to watch him run block, you also add Lloyd Avant, who was running back. Again, I think they're set on their starters, the first 2 positions there, and they're just trying to add some depth and a guy that has a little bit different style of running to add to that running room. You had Trell Harris, wide receiver from Virginia, speedster, kickoff return guy, someone who you saw score the 2-point conversion if you watched that Virginia game, the overtime game, in second overtime. Hayden Hansen, obviously we talked about Rocky Beers, Marion Harris, offensive tackle, from Arkansas, correct? Yes. Tamarian Harris, sorry about that. And a guy that we have a source, I should say, a close actually family friend who coached him and talked about how he was, very, very talented, very talented player, Marion Harris. It's just tight end, my bad. Marion Harris. And really talked about how, the abilities there obviously can be, needs to get better in certain areas, but expects him to probably make a push to be a starter considering how much we paid him. And then Caleb Nita, probably be a backup center. Dakota Fields from Oregon rounds out really a portal class, at least as I've seen so far, that is very encouraging. They're going to add, I think, add a linebacker, add a defensive tackle, and maybe try to get one more receiver. Livingston from Texas was on campus today for his visit, and he was at Indiana over the weekend. I think it's encouraging he didn't commit on the visit. Obviously, I think you would still say they're the favorites. I will say by just comparison, Dakota Fields, first time he ever saw Oklahoma was about 8 hours ago, and he commits to Oklahoma on the spot. So maybe a little different position. He hadn't played as much, not always the same. But I think we're in a good position with Livingston as well, and could be a really exciting portal class. It looks like Nagy and those guys have really been doing their homework, and they are going after a lot of key positions that are key players that even the insiders, quote unquote, that didn't know about some of these guys that are committed so far. So we're going to have a video, though. We're going to try to do a different deal where we record actual video and post it on our YouTube page where we talk about some of the transfer portal additions in a little more depth.
I'm sure Josh is on too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, true. But now, do you have anything to add, by the way, on that? Sorry.
No, my brain's kind of turning into mush.
Yeah, fair. Now it's time for the favorite part of the show, as everyone pretty much agrees. Zeno Zone, after a tough year.
Tough week.
Tough week.
He's had a good year.
He's had a great year. Tough week. He's back. Let's see how he does. Indiana and Miami, huh?
Indiana and Miami.
That'd be a great game.
He faked me out because he was staring hard at that Ole Miss one and then just went.
I would love to see Ole Miss win because then Lane Kiffin would have to see a team he left because he didn't think he could win a natty there. Win the natty.
I don't even know if he thought. I just think he's Gildery Lockhart. I don't know. If you know, you know. Like, I just what I think this man is. It's just all about me. We turn everything's into about me, and I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely has some of that look at me kind of energy a little bit. That
magical
over here. Yeah.
Like, I feel like that's like given. Like, I don't know. But hey, whatever. I've never met the man. I just judge from afar.
There we
go. But yeah, do you agree with Zeno? Do you not? I agree with him on Indiana. I don't necessarily agree with him with Ole Miss or Miami.
Mm-hmm.
That's not to say Miami can't win. I just personally, I think I would rather see Ole Miss win because again, like Carson Beck just rubs me wrong. It's
Sid the Sloth.
For a very petty reason, I just don't.
Sid the Sloth.
And then
Ice Age.
Ole Miss, like I don't know. I just have nothing against them. I like Trinidad and the Lane Kiffin drama. That would just be a story for the ages. Trinidad
Chambliss. You talk about an all-time name. By the way, if you made this point before we started, he applied for an extra year of eligibility. Should he get it? I don't know. I don't think so, which means he'll probably get it. But how Owen Heineke shouldn't get an extra year if Trinidad Chambliss does?
Oh, right.
I mean, there's just no way to justify it.
Nope.
But NCAA, do the right thing. Call me. We can give you advice. But, other than that, again, we thank y'all so much. We really, really do appreciate that so many people would want to spend some time, watch this interview. Obviously, a really, really good player for Oklahoma. It is a really fun opportunity, a really fun thing we get to do on Mondays. As always, we appreciate you spending the time with us, and hope you guys had a good holiday season and even better start to 2026. Anything you want to say heading out?
I would like to say, like the video.
There we go.
Like the video, subscribe to the channel. There's 837 pairs of eyes on this thing. So go ahead. If 50 you could jump over and just like the video. Give us a comment once we're off live. Just, wishing Payton good luck. Any games you're looking forward to. Anything from the portal that you like. You can tell us her hair looks weird. You can say Tierney's getting fat. She's pregnant. I don't really care. Just put some comments on there because it really helps share the video out there. And we do truly appreciate all the support that you guys give us. And we appreciate your eyes. We hope that all your eyes come back next Monday because we will have KJ Kindler on the show. That's just a wealth of knowledge, and she's a wonderful human. She's a great coach, and their season is going to be coming up too. So let's go out and support the reigning national champions as well.
Awesome. You guys rock. Have a good week. Have a good weekend, and we will see you all next Monday.
Boomer.
Boomer.